One thing y'all will never see me do is call Lauren Sanchez Bezos classless. And it's not for whatever reason the bootlickers think. It's for reasons coming up, and this Business Insider article on quiet luxury is out, and why tacky, in-your-face displays of wealth are back, just like in the Gilded Age. And the reason I don't go after Lauren Sanchez Bezos' fashion or surgery is because of the lessons in the show of the same age. And it's especially funny that this article has come out as my video on Fran Fine and classism and the nanny about how she dresses is recirculating. Okay, so first things first. You will never see me defending either of these people. You could not get me to trade the wrinkles on my forehead for what I see as actual violence that she does to her body to appeal to the male gaze, and that this man looks like a hot dog with mold coming off of it. I don't normally go after people's appearances, but with what he does to his workers to obtain the wealth he has, I do not give a fuck. With the extreme harms that these people cause, one of the least concerns I have is how she dresses. And I see a lot of people on here dissecting, especially fashion experts, why and why not. Lauren's outfits are especially signs that she is new money and not classy, and that money cannot buy class. It's not that I think those videos are bad or those takes aren't interesting. I find them very interesting. But to me, it also seems to perpetrate some of the same ideas shown in the Gilded Age, that we are still glorifying old money and generations of wealth that are still usually accumulated by harm as the good, the right, which is what this character in the show is showing us, to protect the old guard and the old way, while shaming these people, the Russells in the show, who are stand-ins for the Vanderbilt family. The exact things that happen in this show did happen in real life in New York high society, such as that the Vanderbilts, aka the Russells, weren't allowed into the Academy of Music by the old guards. So they started their own opera hall with the Carnegies and other new money, which became the Metropolitan Opera House and destroyed the old money Academy of Music. And while it can be very satisfying for people who are not among the elite to learn this history or watch the show and watch the new money that is very glorified in American culture, as they are the American dream. He got really rich building railroads. They aren't old money. They pulled on those bootstraps, allegedly. An outcome of this that we know in modern society is this Gilded Age resulted in the Great Depression. It was out of control, and this new money became the same problem. This article in Business Insider is talking about a cultural phenomenon that we are seeing right now. The over-the-top signs of wealth. It takes a lot of money to look this fake. And it is actually a status symbol of his that he maintains her but doesn't have to do the same amount of work she does. That's because classism and patriarchy are interconnected. That relationship is older than capitalism. For those of you who want to go ahead in my comments be like, it's just capitalism, it's way older than that. So to me, it feels like being this character if I were to be like, Lauren Bezos has no class. The Bezoses are showing us the parts of class that harm us. It doesn't matter how long they've had the money. And this article is talking about we're at the point again, like it was 100 years ago, of stupid amounts of wealth, flaunting it, showing it off. It is because they are positioning themselves as not old money. They are positioning themselves as different. This could be seen as a way to try to gain appeal, actually. They seem to be trying very hard lately. Stealth looks and muted fashion that we usually associate with the rich became especially popular after the 2008 crash, where people were pissed at the rich. So while they did not give up their luxury, it became more muted so that the French Revolution didn't happen. But they're feeling more bold lately. And we need to remember what happened last time. And that all of these situations, whether muted or bright colors, do not change what is behind it all. In my book chapter on the unwritten rules of work on social class and neurodivergent identities, in my chapter on appearance management, chapter 2, I do end it with saying, I want to stress that the idea of one right way of appearance can be for any appearance. It is not the clothes, makeup, hair, or jewelry itself that is the issue. Instantly going casual in an office is not inherently the solution. In fact, some have claimed that Silicon Valley has taken the one right way approach too far in the other direction, with some ex-tech employees claiming to have witnessed well-qualified candidates turned down because they wore a well-tailored suit and not a hoodie and jeans. And that's why I really don't care about if Lauren Sanchez is classy or not. because the ideologies behind it have not changed. What I do encourage us to focus on is that when we see things happening where it's not just Lauren, it's a trend, Mar-a-Lago face, is to ask why these things are happening in the context that they are in, what cultural message they are sending. Because I've seen a lot of people talk about the obsession of youth and us finding out that our beauty standards have been largely curated by pedophiles, which, if you understand patriarchy, is not surprising. But I also want us to look at that these women are not doing this because they think it makes them beautiful. They're doing it because it is a class signal that they are willing to be compliant. They are good girls who are behaving and conforming to a system that they are hoping to get something in exchange for. In Lauren's case, access to hundreds of billions of dollars. A lot of them were very attractive women before they did this. It's not just about beauty or taste. It is about the message that it sends, and it is that deep. I think as a class researcher in organizations, I spend too much time working with organizational leaders on not stigmatizing people who are good at their jobs, who are daring to have any different style of fashion. Yet for me, mocking someone even with the insanely privileged and harmful status of Lauren Bezos, I guess I see the hypocrisy in that I don't want it to normalize that, because it's not going to hurt Lauren Bezos. It's going to hurt not old money women who are in organizations even more than it already is. Yes, even though Lauren Bezos is perpetrating and benefiting from it. And yes, I'm not telling you not to call her whatever, but I would caution, especially if you are in a position where you supervise other people or you write these dress codes, to make sure that this same bias isn't cluttering your workplace. Because that's how we actually get back at these people. That's how we actually have things that matter, is not perpetrating classism in what is within our own control. Yes, this is an outfit change. Ironic for this video, but I thought of it later. Oh, I'm about to go work out, so here we are. And back to outfits. So we've seen this before. We're seeing it again. And the question is, when are we going to disrupt it? And to make sure that we don't make heroes along the way who will become the same problem, that we do hold them to different standards. Because while we may have gone from muted colors, Mar-a-Lago face, what hasn't changed is aspiring to power at the expense of other people and appealing and submitting to the white male gaze. Even if it means giving up your facial expression and the ability to close your lips.